Let's go on the record. This is cause number 2021 CR 7405, the state of Texas versus Ali Sanchez de Lara. Attorneys, please make your announcements for the record.
Travis Rodriguez for the state of Texas.
Nick Aguilera on behalf of Ms. Lara.
Lara is appearing by video conference from the Bexar County Jail. Tell me your full name, ma'am.
Ali Sanchez de Lara.
Okay, we're here for the results of all the evaluations that we did ahead of the sentencing. Turns out she didn't qualify for much of anything. Is that right, Ms. Aguilera?
That's back based on what I've read. I agree, Judge. The TAPI didn't recommend anything. I mean, she admitted to marijuana use back when she was 19. It listed her as an occasional smoker, but she's not a smoker currently.
Okay. And there was she did not meet criteria. For purposes of the record, she didn't meet criteria for any mental health programs. So, are we ready?
The prosecutors were recommending 5 years deferred adjudication on this case. She has been incarcerated for between 7, 8, 9 months on this matter, continuously incarcerated. Visiting with her, she's had plenty of time to think about her choices and now realizes that she needs to make better choices and not to act on impulse, but to pause and decide what the proper choice would be. She realizes she made poor choices that landed her this case. She does have 2 children that her mom and ex-husband are caring for, but she would like you to ask you to follow the plea bargain, and she can get back to being a productive citizen.
All right. Back on November the 29th, 2021, I accepted your plea of no contest to the charge of burglary of a habitation. I have reviewed the TAP evaluation, the DDRF results, and also the correspondence that was sent in by the victim in this case, who is not, she's not in support of probation. Ms. Sanchez, it doesn't matter what's happening with your kids. There's a better way to handle it. I think you know that by now. You were seen by the neighbors pretty much breaking into the house. It was captured on video. And then when you were on bond, it looks like you were texting them some very threatening things. Like, you shouldn't do that. That's just not, I read the text messages is what I'm trying to tell you. So that behavior is not going to work while you're on probation. While you're on probation, you have to absolutely 100% not do that, because it will get back to me. It always gets back to me. So I will follow the plea bargain agreement. I will make no other findings at this time. I will grant the application for deferred adjudication for a period of 5 years. Restitution to Jackie Vasquez Mendez in the amount of $980. There's a $500 fine. I'm going to fully probate that fine. No contact order with Jackie Vasquez Mendez, 200 hours community service. She can do those on Bear Gives Back. I will allow her to start that in March so she can get back on her feet. Or she can do all 200 hours somewhere else. Moral recognition therapy classes and a parenting class is also going to be required as part of the plea bargain agreement. This is a plea bargain case, ma'am. I followed your plea bargain agreement. What that means is you do not have a right to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if you have no other holds, you should be released today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge.
Needs to go into the breakout room with. Jonathan Watkins, are you on?
Yes, I'm here.
Let's go on the record on Lamar Sterling. So on the record, this is cause number 2020 CR 10850. The state of Texas versus Lamar Sterling. Attorneys, please make your announcements for the record.
Gretchen Plater for the state.
And Jonathan Watkins for Mr. Sterling. Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. Mr. Sterling is appearing by video conference. Mr. Sterling, tell me your full name for the record.
Lamar Sterling.
On December 14, 2021, I accepted your plea of no contest to the lesser included state jail felony of attempted evading arrest in a motor vehicle. At that time, I allowed you to participate in the Bear Gives Back program, and I understand you have satisfactorily completed it. So today we're going to go forward to sentencing. I do find the evidence is sufficient to substantiate your guilt. I will find you guilty of the state jail felony attempted evading arrest. I'm going to sentence you to 180 days confinement in the Bexar County Jail pursuant to 1244 of the Penal Code. That sentence is suspended and you will participate in the Bear Gives Back program. I do find that your participation is satisfactorily completed. So there is nothing left to do on this case. You are free to go. You're free of all of the bail conditions. In this case, Mr. Sterling, this is a plea bargain case. I follow the plea bargain agreement. You do not have a right to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Judge.
I'm also dismissing the possession of marijuana case, and you should have nothing else pending in my court. I don't ever want to see you back. I think you know that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Stay out of trouble. You're a young man. You have a new baby. Stay out of trouble.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. We'll see you soon. Take care.
All right, have a nice day.
Judge, thank you for following the agreement. And I'd like to thank Travis and Gretchen for their judgment. Both parties worked very, very, very hard toward this resolution, and we thank the court's discretion. And I think Mr. Sterling doesn't want to come back here, Judge. So thank you for reiterating that.
Yeah, we don't want him back. All righty. Thanks. Have a good one.
You take care, Your Honor.
Judge Jim has joined and Melissa's in a breakout room.
I'm going to appoint you to Reginald Lanier. If you can go in a breakout room with him, please. Ashley can send you a copy of the indictments.
Okay.
And just get, whatever contact info you need or whatever you need to talk to him about, and I'll give you some time. It's 4 cases, so I'll give you some time to get up to speed.
Hi, Judge. Thank you.
Is the Chrome on by any chance? No. Mr. Barrett, I'll talk to you and in private with your client, Donald Hastings. Can you all join me in room 8? Ashley, if you can please put them in there. And then when I come back, I'll do Jason Flores.
Ashley, can I get a breakout room real quick with Gretchen?
Hey, Ashley, would it be possible for me to chat with whichever prosecutor might be handling Mr. Parrish's cases?
Gretchen and Denise just went into a breakout room. I'll send you in there.
I already talked to her. I'm done.
Okay. Melissa wants to confer on Parrish.
Okay.
Will she move me, Ashley? Thanks.
My appointment's not till 1:15, but they wanted me there at 12 to fill out a bunch of paperwork.
Let's get ready to go on the record on Jason Flores.
Judge, may I just mention to the court one thing, if possible? It's Melissa Christian. Good morning. I've been appointed to Mr. Troy Parrish just today, and we just need a 30-day reset. I've already conferred. I just need to look at his discovery.
Are you a fast reader? Is that why you only asked for 30 days? I was gonna set it out to the end of March because I'm pretty full until then.
That's perfectly fine, Judge. I told Ms. Flater that if we were able to reach an agreement that she and I would confer by email. So that's fine.
Okay, March 28th. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused? Great.
Tochi?
Judge, I was going to give you the exact same announcement. Gretchen actually emailed me an offer. He has family violence cases as well. But truth be told, he's got 4, Judge. I don't know how far. If you could push us to like maybe first week of April.
Well, I was going to do the same, March 28th.
Okay, that's fine, Judge. I need to get familiar with him and his situations.
And if you need more time after that, I'm willing to give it. But I just want you to keep in touch with your client.
I will definitely do that.
All righty. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
That is for Lanier.
Excuse me, Judge. May I be excused now also?
Parrish, yes, I'll see you back March 28th. Mr. Hastings stay? Mr. Hastings is in the breakout room, Ashley. So once you hear from Sharon Thorne, let me know what we're going to do with that.
Mr. Chumley, you have an announcement for Judge?
Yes, Your Honor. I was not able to work out a deal today. I need to get a setting, a trial setting.
Please. All right, on Mr. Chumley, on Kerbo, you need a trial?
Yes.
I'm going to set you for the call docket for April 4th. Jury selection would be April 11th.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Michael Latimer, real quick before I do the sentencing, if that one is quicker. Mr. Latimer, can you join me? Let me see.
Yes.
Can you go to 12? I'll join you there.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Ashley. Mr. Latimer is, first of all, Mr. Ibarra, you're excused. Your attorney's going to visit with you in the morning about a proposal that I made to him today. One of the things I told him is if you have any questions and you want to physically come to the courtroom so you can see what we're talking about, that you're welcome, I'll bring you over. So when you see him tomorrow and you guys talk about my proposal, then if you want to come to the courtroom, we can do that. Okay, you're excused for today. Thank you.
Is there a specific date, Judge?
I don't have a specific date. Let's do February 14th just for now. State, who's handling this?
It's Denise's case, but if you're gonna try it before she's back, which I don't know when she'll be back, we'll handle it. Travis or I or both will take it over.
It would be that proposal I had made to you guys. Your chiefs are almost going to approve it. So
The trial by Zoom.
the jury selection by Zoom, the trial in person.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm finishing up the consent that everybody would have to sign. So we're gonna at least present it to Mr. Ibarra. All righty. So for now, let's do February 14th. That would be the trial date. Let's go on the record on Jason Flores. And then I have the plea with Mr. Cortez. I'll do that afterwards. Is everyone ready to go on the record on Jason Flores?
David's ready, Your Honor.
Okay. This is cause number 2021 CR 1155, the state of Texas versus Jason Flores. Attorneys, please make your announcements for the record.
Yes, Your Honor. Luis Echeverria for the state of Texas.
Roland Garcia for Mr. Flores.
Mr. Flores is appearing by video conference. Go ahead and tell me your full name, sir.
Jason J. Flores, Your Honor.
All right, we are here for the results of all of the evaluations that I ordered. You did not meet criteria for the dual diagnosis residential facility. So mental health treatment is not an option.
Your Honor, may I interrupt? The printout that I got was that he didn't
I said that.
did not meet the criteria for supervision for MIC caseload, but did not meet criteria, but supervision with MIC caseload was recommended by probation.
Right. So I said he didn't meet criteria for DDRF, which is the diagnosis residential. He didn't qualify for that.
I just got a little antsy when I didn't understand that. Okay, fantastic.
Have evade opposed. State, do you have any witnesses you'd like to call?
No, Your Honor, the state does not have any witnesses, just argument.
Okay. Mr. Garcia, do you have any witnesses you'd like to call?
Aside from Mr. Flores, no, Your Honor.
Okay, so let's call Mr. Flores. Raise your right hand, sir. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this cause shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead, Mr. Garcia.
Judge, first of all, I'd like to illuminate some of the highlights that I picked up when I was reviewing the pre-sentence investigation report, the PSR. First of all, Mr. Flores has at one time successfully completed his term of probation. But knowing now, Judge, that whether he's granted probation or a prison term, the rules of the game have changed because of his medical condition, that being the diabetic foot problems that he's been encountering for the past, I'd say, 6 months to a year. By stating that the rules have changed, if in fact Mr. Flores is granted probation, he knows that his compliance is paramount and tied to his future health, the condition of his foot. Because if he's incarcerated, it's real difficult to keep the wound dry. And that means when he takes a shower, his foot is going to get wet. TDC does not allow any materials that are waterproof to assist in keeping the wound dry. And the reason, Judge, is that those materials like plastic sometimes are used by the inmates to commit suicide. I also, and as the court is very much aware of the fact of Mr. Flores's medical condition. My take on this, Judge, is he did choose to be an offender. He did not choose to be a diabetic. And Judge, it's usual custom in my practice. I ask my clients to write a letter to the court while their cases are pending before the court. I ask them not to send the letter. I ask them to take the letter to court with them at sentencing, because at that time, I think they're better prepared to share with the court their feelings regarding the offense that they committed. And with the court's permission, I'd like for Mr. Flores to read that letter to the court.
Go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
Your Honor, that letter was intended for you, and I'm kind of ashamed to read it. It's kind of giving you an insight as to how some of us become felons, and I know you're a.
If you prefer that I read it, I can do that. Just Mr. Garcia, you just need to admit it for purposes of the record.
At this time, Your Honor, I don't know whether Mr. You have a copy with you, Mr.
It's
Flores?
in the email, sir, but I would like to say something else, though.
You're fine. Go ahead.
All right, ma'am. Since I got rated, Your Honor, at this age of my life, and with, being mentally smarter now and much more, knowledgeable, it's been a real big blessing, because I've been a lot closer with my children, my mother who's out there, sitting at the bench. And this is the longest I've ever gone without selling drugs, or I threw my phones away and I just concentrate now on my family. And this kind of gonna be a curveball, but I know you're an advocate for prison reform, and I believe that some of us, if we go in with the right mentality, we can come out reformed and not go back to that lifestyle. So I would like to get my surgery, my foot taken care of, get all that out of the way, and continue where I left off with my kids, and go to pay my due to society, myself and my kids, and do my 5 years after my surgery, and come out where I left off with my kids and leave that world behind and just start a fresh life. And I believe that being out here, it's kind of hard to, because it's just probation. I understand that it's good, but it's not going to fully just get me out of that away from everybody.
So you're saying you'd rather do prison time than to be on probation?
I mean, I don't know. I just feel if I do prison time, it's like my body will get healthy again. I feel maybe that maybe it's just what God wants. I feel that if I'll come out, my daughter's 17, my son's 15, and my other son's 13. My daughter graduated at 16. So hopefully I'll be out in 2 years to see my son's junior year, my son's senior year, my other son's sophomore year, and just start off where I left off, being good.
Okay.
That's what the letter was about, Your Honor. It was more about the reform and the change of a person, how we become felons, and how it's hard to get out of that lifestyle. And sometimes the only way to reform yourself is just to go away.
Okay. Mr. Garcia, anything else?
I have to admit, we had discussed these options, but I didn't expect that.
I know it's a curveball, sir. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. And if that's obviously how Mr. Flores feels, Your Honor, given the fact of his obviously willing to accept responsibility for his offense, I would request that the court consider the lower range of punishment in this particular case.
Hey, what's your position?
Your Honor, the state's position is, well, this is an opposed application. Certainly the state is seeking TDC for Mr. Flores. He has been on probation before. It was deferred adjudication for 5 years, Judge, back in 2010. I think he was terminated early in about 2013. The charge in that case, Judge, was essentially the same as this one. It's a possession with intent to deliver 4 to 200 of a PG1 controlled substance, Your Honor. The state does want to point out that according to the PSI, his 3 teenage children do live with their moms. He does not appear to be the person living with them in the same household or under the same roof. He, again, has done this before, and he admits to selling this, Judge, selling cocaine in this case. He had about 25 grams of that in his house. So the state does seek TDC. I have not looked at the pre-paperwork, Judge, in this case. I don't recall, in other words, if it was there was a cap involved, but certainly, I'm sorry?
Half of 8 opposed.
Okay. Certainly the state would ask the court to take into consideration, I mean, to take, this matter into consideration, the fact that Mr. Flores does admit not only responsibility, but that he does seek this type of punishment, if you will, or consequence for these actions. So the state would seek that he be sentenced at this date.
When is your surgery?
I have to go 1 time a week for 6 weeks to get debridement on my foot, which is where they keep slicing it away at the diabetic ulcer. And then shortly after those 6 weeks, I should have surgery, hopefully about a week after that. And then it's a 6 to 8 week recovery. And once that hole closes, which they're gonna put like a kind of like a plastic surgery type thing over it. But it's just my foot has to be healthy enough so that if they do the surgery, I don't lose another piece of my foot, because this would be the second bone they take out of my right foot. So it just has to be healthy enough to do the surgery, which it should be, because it's starting to get better. I've been watching my diabetes and my eating.
Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm not going to proceed today. I'm going to reset you until April the 25th. But what I want from your office, Mr. Garcia, is all the way every week, I want a report faxed into me or emailed into me that you are receiving your treatment. So if it's a weekly treatment, I should have weekly proof. If you're having surgery, I need proof of the surgery. And if
I have all the papers. You should have every one of these, and you should have pictures of every time I go in there. I believe we send you pictures and we send you my next appointment. So I have these going back about 8 months. All right, I believe you should have them in a folder somewhere.
I think we sent that to the probation department, Judge.
Probably pre-trial. No.
Okay.
If I can get you a whole copy of all of them if you'd like.
Yes, I would like a copy. Then I'll make my decision April 25th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
In person, come get a reset.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay, Rosie, where do they need me?
He's so funny. All right, let's go on the record on Atkins. Joshua, do you know what you guys are gonna do on Dominguez? Or Samuel, whose case is this?
That one is Samuel's. I think he told me that Mr. McCrum was going to ask for a setting in a week on it. I understand that Samuel had a meeting scheduled with the complainant on this case today.
It's not this week. It's not going to be next week. My schedule is changing next week.
Okay.
Not going to happen. Oh, this is a waiver case on Atkins?
Yes.
Okay, let's go on the record. Mr. Atkins, you were sworn in, right?
Yes, ma'am. No, I guess not. I'm not sure.
Okay, let's go on the record. This is cause number 2022 CR 0801W, the state of Texas versus Robert Atkins III. Attorneys, please make your announcements for the record.
Yes, Your Honor. Luis Echeverria for the state of Texas.
Good morning, Judge. Genaro Cortez for Robert Harry Atkins.
Atkins is appearing by video conference. Go ahead and tell me your full name, sir.
Robert Harry Atkins III.
On the screen, I have what is called information that was filed in this case. It alleges the offense of unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. Before we get to that information, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the waiver of the grand jury process that you have signed. That's this document. It's called Waiver of Indictment and Reading of Information and Rights. What this document is telling me is that you understand that you have the right to have this case presented to the grand jury. The grand jury would review it, and if there's an indictment to be had, they would deliver the indictment to you. You would have 2 days to review the indictment with your attorney and 10 days to prepare for trial. When you sign this document I have on the screen, Mr. Atkins, what you're telling me is you're going to skip that process, that you're going to give up those rights. Is that what you intend this morning?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Judge.
I will sign the waiver of indictment and information and make it part of the record. The information is for the unauthorized motor vehicle. That is a state jail felony, and it is punishable by confinement in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, but it's for confinement in the state jail facility. Do you understand the range of punishment? And I apologize. It's for any period of 1 to 2 years confinement and up to a $10,000 fine. Do you understand that range of punishment, Mr. Atkins?
Yes, Judge.
You have the right to a jury trial. You have the right to cross-examine the witnesses against you. You also have the right to remain silent. Those are your constitutional rights. Do you understand those?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Judge.
When you sign the document I have on the screen called the court admonishments, what you're telling me is that you want to give up those constitutional rights. Is that what you intend to do?
Yes, Judge.
Are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, Judge.
If you were not a citizen, I'm still required to tell you that a plea of guilty or no contest to this charge could result in deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law. Are you satisfied with the representation of your attorney?
Yes, Judge, I am.
And Mr. Atkins, before I forget, is this your electronic signature and the waiver of your constitutional rights above the words Robert Atkins?
Yes, Judge, it is.
Mr. Cortez, does your client have a rational and factual understanding of the proceedings against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has he been able to assist you in the preparation of any defenses?
He did.
And in your opinion, is he mentally competent to waive his rights and enter into a plea?
He is.
I will accept the waiver of rights and make it part of the record. Mr. Atkins, on the screen, I have the plea bargain agreement in this case. It calls for an agreement for punishment to be assessed at 8 months confinement in a state jail facility, no applications for probation, and the state will dismiss the second. Is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, Judge, it is.
Mr. Cortez, is that?
It is, Your Honor.
And Mr. Echeverria, is that your understanding?
It is, Your Honor.
What is your plea to the charge of unauthorized use of a motor vehicle? Mr. Atkins, is it guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Are you entering a plea of no contest because you have talked about this matter with your attorney and you believe it's in your best interest to do so?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you
Yes,
doing this
Judge.
involuntarily?
Doing it voluntarily, yes, ma'am.
Has anyone forced you to enter a plea today?
No, Judge.
Offered you anything in exchange for your plea?
No, Judge.
I will accept the plea of no contest. I find the plea is voluntarily made, and I will ask the state to tender its proof.
The state offers State's Exhibit 1 and all attachments pending any objection from Mr. Cortez.
No objections, Your Honor.
State's one is admitted. Mr. Secretary, satisfied the state complied with Article 3914 in this case.
Yes, they have.
I will sign the discovery acknowledgement and make it part of the record. Okay, give me just a minute, please. Come back on the record. Mr. Atkins, you have 2 out-of-county holds from Wilson County. So I'm going to run this case concurrent with those cases. So
Thank you.
once I'm finished, they're going to transport you back to Wilson County. You are wanted there, okay?
Thank you.
All right, I do find the evidence is sufficient to substantiate guilt. I will find you guilty of the offense of unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. I have already denied evading arrest second. I do sentence you to 8 months confinement in the state jail facility. You do get credit for the time you have been in custody on. This matter will run concurrent with Wilson County case number CRW 2109187 and CRW 2109188. Mr. Atkins, this is a plea bargain case. I followed your plea bargain agreement. You do not have a right to. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You're excused.
Thank you.
Mr. McCrum?
Good morning, Judge. Can you hear me okay?
Sure.
I've talked, I'm sorry, I didn't have this on my calendar, although I did get my client the link, and I'm on my way to Del Rio. So I did talk to Sam this morning, and he's trying to reach out to the complainant to nail down our situation. And he asked if he can have 1 week, if we can bring it back next week. I know you wanted me to file the motions to withdraw plea, which I did.
Right, but then I have in my notes, the last time you guys were gonna go forward, I think we just structured differently. And that's
correct. That's what I still wanted to do. I just filed those because you had asked me to, but that's still our intention, is that he's gonna go forward with the plea, but with a different agreement.
I will pass it, Scott. I just don't know that I could see you guys this week. My schedule is going to be reduced significantly starting next week.
Okay.
Until after